Hello everyone, in this video we're going to draw Zoro from One Piece. Start by drawing a circle as a guide for the head. An easy way to draw a circle is to first make a couple of small marks to indicate the circle's height. And then on the sides make a couple more small marks to indicate the circle's width. Then connect the small marks using curved lines to finish the shape of the circle. You don't have to draw a perfect circle, but if you're having trouble drawing one, just trace the outer edge of a cup, a lid, or anything else with a circular edge. And you want to sketch lightly at first so that it's easy to erase if you make a mistake. Also pause the video as you follow along to draw at your own pace. Now let's draw a vertical line across the circle for a guideline. This will help you place the facial features later, and it'll split the facial features in half. And draw the line farther down than the circle, just slightly farther down. And on the vertical line, make a small mark, another small mark that will indicate the bottom part of the head or the jaw, and then make the mark longer for the chin. And now connect the mark to the circle using a couple of sloping lines to create the jaw or the guide for the jaw. And it's okay if the two sides aren't exactly the same, they're just guidelines. Give it a little bit of a bend near the middle for the strong jaw. And then draw a line between the bottom edge of the circle and the chin, just as another guideline, just a small line, a short line. And that's it for the guides. Now let's start on the final drawing. Okay, lightly sketch a small rectangular shape on the left side of the vertical guide and above the bottom edge of the initial circle for the eye. So it's a small rectangular shape, doesn't have to be perfect. Make the right side a bit more narrow than the left. And then when you get the shape right, darken the lines. Curve the lines slightly too, so they're not too angular. And on the right side, because his eye is closed, we're going to draw just a curved line. And draw the curved line close to the bottom of the initial circle for the head. And don't draw this line too high up because the eyelid closes downward. It doesn't close upward, or the bottom eyelid. There's no bottom eyelid that closes up. It's just the top eyelid that closes down. So just picture this eye closing down and the line would be down here. The same thing on this side. So the line would be down here. And make the line a bit thick for the eyelashes. Now draw a small circle inside the eye on the left for the iris. And then a dot inside for the pupil. Now draw a sloping line above the eye for the eyebrow. And don't make the line too thick. Just draw a thin, dark line for the eyebrow and bend the left side downward for the edge of the eyebrow, and also the right side upward to create a furrowed brow. And let's do the same thing on the right side. Just draw a sloping line and then make the line thicker and darker. Now let's draw a line above the eye on the left for a crease, and the same thing for the eye on the right for another crease. And now let's draw his scar as a long vertical line across the eye on the right, his left. And now let's move on to the nose by first drawing a couple of short lines near the eyebrows for creases, and then continuing those lines downward to create the bridge of the nose. And the bridge of the nose is very thin, so just follow the vertical guide as you draw these lines. And at the bottom, just draw a couple of shorter lines for the nostrils. His nose is very small, so don't make these lines too big. And now let's draw a couple more creases for his sort of angry expression below the eyes. Just a couple of sloping lines. And now where you made that mark, let's just darken the mark and curve it up to create the teeth, or the row of teeth. And draw another line at the top for the top edge of the row of teeth, and then curve the line on the right side, and do the same thing on the left side. Don't draw every individual tooth, just a long sort of curved rectangular shape to indicate the row of teeth. And then just draw a couple of short lines just to create sort of the illusion of the teeth. And now on the sides of the mouth, draw a couple of horizontal lines for the first part of the sword. This would be the sword's handle. So just draw, lightly sketch first, a couple of lines just coming out of the mouth. And then another long horizontal line at the bottom for the bottom edge of the sword. And I'm sketching lightly at first because I want to see where everything is, and then once I have those two lines more or less okay, then just close off the shapes, or close off the shape on the left side and then darken the lines. But before I darken the lines, I'm going to draw another short line for the small section on the tip of the handle, and then I'll darken the line. And then create a sort of curved shape around the bottom for the metallic bit on the tip of the sword handle. And you can curve the line too to make it a bit fancier. Like so. And then darken the tip using curved lines as you darken it. And then darken the bottom as well. And then draw a couple of lines just to give the handle some thickness. You don't have to draw the line all the way through, just a couple of short lines. And now let's draw the guard on the handle by drawing a couple of curved lines. So this is basically an oval. It's supposed to be a circle, but because it's in perspective, you just draw it as an oval. So let's draw an oval-like shape on the right side, and he's biting it close to the guard. So draw this shape close to the head, like that. And notice that again, I'm sketching lightly at first, and then I'm darkening the lines only when I get the shape right. You don't have to add too much detail, just enough lines to indicate the guard on the sword. And the handle ends near the middle, so draw the line sort of near the middle of the guard, and then again darken the bottom and add a couple of lines to make the handle a bit thick. And then you can even draw a couple more lines. Don't draw the entire sword, because I don't know if you'll have enough. If you have enough room on your paper, draw the entire sword, but I don't. So I'm just going to draw the visible section of the sword. And let's draw a line in the middle too. And let's give the sword or the handle another line inside. And you can even draw more lines as well, just to give it more thickness on the sword, like so. Now let's draw the ears on the sides of the head as a couple of curved lines. So you can extend the line for the jaw upward, and then draw a curved line at the top that curves downward for the first ear. And you want to draw the ear slightly higher up than usual, because his head is sort of pointing downward. And do the same thing for the ear on the right. Draw a curved line, and this curved line will almost touch, or will definitely touch, the guard on the sword, but that's okay. And when you get the shapes right, you darken the line, and you can add a thin sort of rectangular shape inside the head for the long sideburn on each side. And draw a bit of the detail inside the ear, or each ear, but you don't have to draw everything perfect. Just a couple of lines to indicate the ear structure. And the ear on the right has earrings, or his left, our right. So it's not really visible because of the guard on the sword. So just draw a couple of small sort of arcs at the bottom of the ear for the earrings. And now let's draw his hairline by first making a small mark near the middle area, or near the middle section between the top edge of the circle and the top part of the eyebrows. So around there, just make a small mark. That's where the hairline will be. And then just extend that mark to create a long horizontal line that's sort of curved to create the hairline. And then bend the line downward to create the side of the hair on either side. And as always, sketch lightly at first and only darken the lines when you get the shapes right. And before you darken the top part, draw a couple of short angled lines that are similar to the letter V to create little chunks of hair. And now you can add the rest of the hair by following the curvature of the initial circle as you draw small angled lines, like so. They're sort of V-shaped lines all around the head. You don't want to draw every individual hair strand, but just small little chunks of hair that create small triangular shapes across the head. And notice how I'm following the curvature of the initial circle as I draw these shapes, and make them different sizes and different widths. Vary them a bit. And you can do the same thing on this side, on the right side. You can even draw like I did, like slightly sketch a curved line, just so that you know what you're following, so that it looks sort of similar on either side. And you can also draw a few more triangular shapes inside the hair section, just to give it a bit of texture. A couple of lines, a couple of small triangular shapes, just to indicate a bit more texture on the hair. And now darken the bottom guide to create the jaw, but don't overlap the shape of the sword. And draw a couple of lines too at the bottom for the visible section of the open mouth and lower lip. You can also draw a couple more lines to emphasize the furrowed brow and give him, you know, sort of a vein. A couple of curved lines to give him a vein to emphasize the angry expression or determined expression, and a couple more lines just to give the head more structure. Now let's draw a couple of lines around the head for a bit of the body. You can stop here, but if you don't mind the floating head look, you can stop here, or you can add a couple of more curved lines just to indicate the body. So because he's sort of bending down, you're going to see the top part of the body behind his head. So sort of his shoulders as he's sort of ready to leap into action. And draw a couple of lines for his shirt, his outfit, and a bit of the muscles on his neck, below his head, and the collarbone below that too. Sort of comes together in the form of a V, and a bit of the chest, and a bit more of the side of the body using a long curved line. And like I said, a bit of the shoulder just to indicate a bit of his body. You can also give the sword a bit more detail by adding these, there's a wrap, sort of a wrapping around the handle, but you don't have to draw every individual bit of wrapping. Just draw a couple of diamond-like shapes to create that pattern on the sword. You don't have to, you can leave it as it was, and it reads as a sword perfectly, but if you want to add a bit more detail, you can add these small diamond-like shapes. And draw a couple of short lines for the creases too, just to indicate a bit of texture on the sword. Add a couple of lines at the bottom as well for more of the texture. And you can make the final lines a bit darker too. And that's it for Zoro. Now go over the final lines with permanent ink, erase the guides, and color your drawing. The next few steps are sped up, but make sure that you go over your final lines slowly and carefully to avoid any accidents. For more tutorials like this one, please visit easydrawingtutorials.com. Let me know in the comments if you want me to draw other One Piece characters. Don't forget to leave a like and to subscribe. Thank you for watching, and until next time, keep drawing.